Welcome to Debt Free in IT. I'm your host, Mike. This podcast is for anyone who's looking to get into the IT industry, whether it's for a career change or you're just interested. I think you come to the right place. Today's episode stems from a conversation I had at a local tech meetup. So during this conversation, it made me realize that a lot of applications that you may be using in your corporate jobs, a lot of times those applications transfers over to an IT role. So a lot of times the application you're probably using on a daily basis, you probably know a lot about that application. Usually on the IT side, there's probably someone in your organization that's supporting this application. Today, I got 5 corporate applications that could lead to a tech career along with the certifications for each application. So let's get started. So the first application you're probably using on a daily basis that has an IT support side to it, or someone in your organization is probably supporting this application, is Microsoft 365. So this includes the Office suite where almost nearly every organization is probably utilizing Microsoft 365. So if you're using Outlook for your email, if you have Word documents, if you have Excel spreadsheets, and then also for your meetings, if you're joining your meeting via Microsoft Teams. So all of this is part of that Microsoft Office suite. Then you have PowerPoint and things like that. So on the IT side, there's probably someone or some team that's probably supporting these applications. So you think about it, whenever you have an issue with your email, you put in a ticket to the help desk relay that issue or that ticket to the right team. So pretty much this team, it may be a server team. They could be a messaging team, depending on what this team name is, but this team is probably responsible for managing those applications and supporting those applications. So them managing on the managing side could mean that they're managing user accounts. So when someone gets hired, someone has to build those applications. Someone has to build their email account. That way, when that user logs in on their first day, they're able to log into Microsoft Outlook 365 and pull down their email account, pull down their email inbox. So someone is responsible for setting that all up on the back end. So if you're using Microsoft Office on a regular basis, just think about the outside things where who's supporting this application. So this goes for a lot of applications within your environment. So some of your environments may have applications that's just specific to your organization, where this application is not nothing that I can go and use from the outside of your organization. So just think about applications like that. And then just also think about, okay, whenever I have an issue with this application, who do I call? So who do I call to put in a ticket to get my issue fixed? So like I said, that person, they're probably managing accounts, troubleshooting issues, integrating those applications with other systems, and anything along that has to deal with that certain application. So the certifications for these applications, of course, you want to go to Microsoft's website. So they have a website called Microsoft Learn. And on Microsoft Learn, they have all the certifications for each of their applications or anything that they have that exists. So Microsoft, the first certification that they have is a fundamentals certification. So it's Microsoft 365 Certified Fundamentals. Like I said, this will probably be their entry-level certification. Then once you get that, you probably can pivot to different certifications. And they do have a lot of certifications that they offer. So they have some cloud certifications. These are the Microsoft 365. So the next step up would probably be the Endpoint Administrator Associate certification. And these certifications kind of go into the management side and deploying of the Microsoft Office suite. So this is something to get a good jump if you think that that may be a role that you may like or a role you may see yourself doing. Then also they got more advanced certifications on their website. So check out Microsoft Learn. Like I said, they also have an option that they call Microsoft Skills, where you can focus on a particular skill in order to hone in and build your experience with that particular skill or that particular technology or that particular application, which I think is pretty neat. So like I said, the Certified Fundamental certification. And then from there, you have lot of different options. So check out Microsoft Learn, and they offer a lot of certification or skills for a lot of these applications that you're probably using on a daily basis. So the next application that you're probably using on a daily basis that could transfer over to a tech role, of course, it's the opposite from Microsoft 365, and that's Google Workspace. So Google Workspace is similar to Microsoft 365. So if a company is not using Microsoft 365, they're probably utilizing Google Workspace. So with Google Workspace, this is where your email is probably Gmail. You probably have a Gmail account. or a Gmail Workspace account. And then also this is where Microsoft, you may have an Azure account to hold your extra files or have extra storage. And Google, you got Google Drive. Then also your meeting platform may be Google Meet. And then also for your documentation and spreadsheets, you have Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets, things like that. So pretty much the same as the Microsoft certification. With Google, you have the same thing where there's probably someone at your organization that's configuring those accounts, managing permissions, saying that who has access to what, and ensuring that people are having a smooth user experience with these applications. So there's always someone on the back end that has to support those applications. So that person on the back end that may be supporting those applications, they may not be the end all be all. So they're the ones that, okay, you put in this ticket, it goes to them. 9 times out of 10, 70 to 80% of the issues, they're able to resolve those issues. But then some cases, it may be an issue that they're not able to resolve. That's where with most organizations, they're paying for support from the main vendor. In this aspect, the main vendor would be Google. So they're paying for support from Google to where when that support agent or when that engineer or when that analyst gets stuck and he can't figure out that issue, he has support with the vendor to reach out to. So just think about it. Like I say, a lot of times with a lot of these applications, you got to think outside the box because most of us probably been at a location for plenty of years and never thought about that. Oh, I'm using this application every day. I know it pretty well. How much more do I need to learn to be able to work on the other side, the back end of it, where I'm supporting this application? So a lot of times, like I said, it may not be a hard journey. It could be easy depending on what application it is, but a lot of times it's just something to dig into. So when we look at the certifications for this particular application, the first one that shows up is the Cloud Digital Leader. So this is a Google foundational certification. And with this certification, it validates your broad knowledge of cloud concepts and the products, services, tools, and features and benefits and use cases of Google Cloud. So this particular certification, like I said, it gets you pretty much a little bit experience. It shows you a little bit of the cloud concepts because mainly if you're managing this Google Workspace, which is a cloud product, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to have some more use cases or some more products that you're managing or supporting within Google Cloud. So like I said, this Cloud Digital Leader is one of their first foundational certifications along this path. So the next Google cert that they have available is the associate level cert. And this is the Google Workspace Administrator certification. And this is soon going to be rebranded to the Associate Google Workspace Administrator certification. So with this certification, it includes managing user accounts, configuring the core workspace services like Gmail, Google Drive, ensuring security and compliance with workspace data. And also this individual will also manage tasks such as setting up organizational units, managing groups, configuring and sharing permissions, and then also doing some troubleshooting of common issues. So like I said, this is what someone on the support side may be doing if they're supporting this application. And then along with that, there's some titles that could go along with this certification. So some of the related job roles they have is the IT Administrator, Systems Administrator, also Help Desk Personnel, Technical Support Engineer, Collaboration Engineer. So a lot of these applications, especially the IT Administrator and Systems Administrator, it goes along to what you often hear me call the server team. I'm used to calling it the server team. Some people may call it the virtualization team. It depends on the aspect of that organization. So, but a lot of times they're the ones that's dealing with usually your email and things like that. So that server team would be the one, if it's a Microsoft house and you got Microsoft products, someone on that team is probably supporting that application. Same thing with Google Workspace. If you're utilizing that instead of Microsoft, there's probably someone on that server team that's supporting that application also. So the third application you're probably using on a daily basis that could transfer over to a tech role is ServiceNow. So ServiceNow is a cloud platform. It helps companies to manage their digital workflows for their enterprise operations. 9 times out of 10, if your company has ServiceNow, you're probably using it as a ticketing tool to manage tickets, problems, and changes. It has many advanced features, analytics, and insights that impacts the speed and delivery of IT. So with ServiceNow, this is where you're probably entering your trouble tickets. So whenever you have an issue within your job, you're entering a ticket. You may be going to a website, or you may have the application installed on your PC where you can go in, or you may be calling the help desk. But you go in, your issue, either that's through a call or through an email, you put in this ticket and it goes inside of ServiceNow. On the back end, someone on the IT side, they pull that ticket, and that's how they come out to fix your issue. So with this, if you're on the front end using it, just think about there's always somebody on the back end that's supporting it. So not the person that's getting the tickets, because everyone in IT or even other departments, they're probably able to get tickets through this platform. So by you utilizing this platform on a daily basis, like I said, it's probably not a lot of issues, or probably not a heavy lift for you to learn the back end of it, especially depending on what you're doing with it now. So, but like I said, a lot of times on the IT side, there's someone supporting this. So just the same thing with ServiceNow. There's always someone that's supporting these applications. So that's on the IT side. So like I said, if you're using ServiceNow, this may be something for you to look into. So when we look at the certifications for this application, so ServiceNow, they have a certification called the ServiceNow Certified System Administrator. And pretty much this certification proves the knowledge of configuring and managing the service platform. So this certification is going to teach you the back end of this platform, to where you may be on the front end now, because the only thing you're doing is entering the tickets. Someone else is pulling the tickets, but then there's a middle person in your environment that's supporting this ServiceNow application. So whenever there's an issue with ServiceNow, where you may come in one day and say, oh, ServiceNow is down. Usually there's someone on the IT side that may be managing this ServiceNow, or they may be in contact with the vendor ServiceNow to get this issue resolved. So this certification is just going to help you to learn that back end of configuring it and managing it. So someone had to set it up so that when you put in this ticket, you got a group that says this goes to the networking team. So someone had to set that up to that, so that the ticket gets routed to the right place. So this certification, like I said, is going to help you to learn that back end of it. And also, another thing I would advise to do is to just go on different job boards like Indeed or LinkedIn, and just type in ServiceNow and see what kind of jobs is out there, what kind of opportunities in your area is out there. But ServiceNow, like I said, is one of the popular ticketing systems. So it's probably a lot of organizations that's utilizing this application. Sorry to interrupt this video. According to my YouTube analytics, 84% of my viewers are not subscribed. If I provided any value to you in any one of my episodes and you're not subscribed, please consider doing so, because it does help out the channel. And also, if you're listening to this in your favorite podcasting app, please leave me a review and share this with a friend. Now back to the episode. So my fourth application that you're probably using on a daily basis that could transition to a tech career is Salesforce. So Salesforce is probably one of the most powerful customer relationship management applications. So a CRM tool is used for sales, marketing, and customer support. Some of the IT roles involves customizing these workflows, integrating other apps with Salesforce, and also doing some troubleshooting. So a lot of places utilize Salesforce. And also with Salesforce, like I said, there's someone needed on the back end to set up Salesforce for a particular organization's needs. So everyone ain't going to use the same workflow in Salesforce. So someone has to set up the different workflows for this organization to go in and utilize it to make their jobs more efficient. So like I said, it's that customer relationship management tool. So you see it in sales positions, you see it in marketing positions, you see it in customer support. So anything in sales, they may be using Salesforce. Think about it. If you're in sales, what application are you using to manage those customers? How are you seeing what customer came in? How you're putting notes on the customer? 9 times out of 10, if you're using this application, then you're probably inputting all of that information. So as a customer come in, you put in your notes on that customer. That way, if they return, you have data that shows, oh, okay, this person was here last week. So a lot of times this is used probably in Salesforce. There's other applications out there. If you're using a different application for this, then just think about, okay, the back end of it. Who's supporting this application? Whenever we have an issue with it, who do we put in a ticket to? So there's just some things to think about. So when you go to the Salesforce website, they list the certification of the Salesforce Administrator certification, which focuses on managing users, data, and workflows within Salesforce. And then also, as you start looking out on different job boards, you will see this one a lot. You will see a lot of Salesforce administrators looking job positions where someone is looking for someone. So where someone is looking for someone with this particular certification or maybe some experience within Salesforce. And a lot of their information is provided on their website. So they have ways for you to get training and everything on the Salesforce website. So I think Salesforce is probably, I would say Microsoft is probably the first product or the first application a lot of people is using. But Salesforce is probably the slept on application where a lot of times, like I said, a lot of people is using Salesforce, but we never think about who's supporting Salesforce. Who is the Salesforce administrator at our company? If you know the Salesforce administrator at your company, then you can reach out to them and get more information on how you could become one. But a lot of times, like I said, Salesforce is one of the most popular CRMs out here on the market. Some of the responsibilities that come with this Salesforce certification is that it shows you how to configure and customize Salesforce to meet business needs. So depending on the business, they're going to hire someone to make Salesforce accustomed to them. Then also you can create and manage user accounts, permission and roles, develop and maintain dashboards, reports, and workflows. Also provide support and training to other users and ensure data quality and system security. So all of this goes within Salesforce. So someone is needed to do all of that. So a company is not just going to implement the Salesforce application and not have someone there who can support the Salesforce application. So the last certification on my list, this certification is an honorable mention. I say it's an honorable mention because you interact with this application daily, but you may not be inside working in this application. That application is Active Directory. So Active Directory is a Microsoft tool for managing users, groups, devices, and permissions in a Windows-based network. So if your organization is a Windows house, 9 times out of 10, you got Active Directory on there. Active Directory is also used for onboarding and offboarding employees, securing networks, and enforcing IT policies. So having a good understanding of how this works and how it's used, in my opinion, will be helpful to help you transition into the other side of this application. So like I said, many organizations utilize Active Directory. So you interact with it every day. If you're at a Windows organization where you logging into a Windows PC, 9 times out of 10, when you log into that Windows PC, your login is being authenticated with Active Directory. So Active Directory is also what allows you to access different things. So let's say on your computer, you might not can go into the control panel and change your settings. All of that is done, pushed down through Active Directory. So like I said, Active Directory is if I like to use this word, Active Directory is a beast in itself. So Active Directory is nothing to play with. So usually Active Directory administrators or engineers, like I said, they're well paid and that's well deserved too, because Active Directory controls their organization. So without Active Directory, that organization is pretty much in a bad position. So this gets honorable mention because if you're not on the IT side already, you may not be in this application directly, but you do have some interaction with this application. So when we look at certifications, one of the certifications they have is the AZ800. This here is administering Windows Server Hybrid Core Infrastructure. And pretty much this exam measures your ability to accomplish the following technical tasks, such as deploy and manage Active Directory domain services in an on-premise and cloud environment, manage Windows servers and workloads in a hybrid environment, and also manage virtual machines and containers, and implement and manage on-premise and hybrid networking infrastructures, and also manage storage and different file services. So this certification here, like I said, is not a beginner certification. It's more of a advanced or intermediate level certification. So like I said, that's pretty much why I gave this Active Directory honorable mention. But then also one gem I found about this is that I mentioned Microsoft's applied skills option they have on Microsoft Learn. So they have an applied skills option which anyone can take, and it has one of the skills is administer Active Directory domain services. So this skill here, you can go in and learn about Active Directory, and pretty much this Microsoft applied skill is, like I say, it's a new concept to me. Not sure it's been how long it's been around. I'm not on Microsoft's website all the time, But with this, you're able to learn this one skill, and this example is Active Directory, without going through a whole certification. So, and it has different labs and everything like that. And then at the end, you get tested in a lab environment. So to earn this Microsoft Applied Skills credential, learners must demonstrate the ability to administer Active Directory domain services. A candidate for this credential should be familiar with the Windows Server, core networking technologies, and some PowerShell basics, and some Active Directory concepts and technologies. This is also probably on an intermediate level. So, but like I said, it is something to think about if you're trying to transition over into tech, because Active Directory is something that is on every organization. Almost, if not all organizations, I would say 97 to 98% of them. So, but like I said, that Active Directory gets an honorable mention on my list just because it's something that on a user side, you may not be interacting with on a daily basis, and you may not even have access to it. So to sum things up, a lot of times we have to think out the box to reach our destination. So these applications that I mentioned, a lot of times, like I said, we are using them on a daily basis, with the exception of Active Directory. Like I said, Active Directory is a different monster, but it is one application I wanted to put in your mind because it is something that's used on the IT side of things on a regular basis, and you're probably interacting with it a little bit. So just getting an understanding of Active Directory and how it works is going to help you out to transition over to any tech career, whether it's Active Directory or not. Because even in tech support, I had to deal with Active Directory. So a lot of different support roles in IT, you are dealing with Active Directory. So you may not be the one that's building out Active Directory or pushing policies, but you are interacting with Active Directory. So a lot of times, like I said, I think this episode was a good one because I've never thought about the applications that we interact with all the time, and how a lot of times for those applications, there's someone on the IT side that's supporting those applications. So that could very well be a gateway in the door. If you know an application so well that, okay, I want to go in and learn the back end of this application. Start searching and seeing if there's any certifications out for that application, if there's any kind of training, or maybe research your organization and see who's supporting that particular application and reach out to them. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Hopefully you found some value in this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, you can follow me at Debt Free in IT. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at debtfreeinit@gmail.com. Or you can visit debtfreeinitwithmike.com. Other than that, I'll see you next week. Peace.